Hello children, let us try to solve this quadratic equation root 3x squared minus 2 root 2x minus 2 root 3 is equal to 0. As soon as we look at this quadratic equation, we see that every term has a square root term in it. So it looks very difficult, but once we start doing it, we will see how easy it is. Now just look at the coefficients of x squared and the constant. It is the product of the coefficient of x squared and the constant is equal to minus 2 into root 3 into root 3 becomes 3, which is equal to minus 6. So we'll have to find two numbers a and b in such a way that a multiplied by b is equal to minus 6. We're talking about this minus 6, the product of root 3 and minus 2 root 3. And the sum of those two numbers should be equal to the coefficient of x minus 2 root 2. So let's find factors of 6 now. Minus 6, the factors are 3 and 2. One of them should be negative. Now let's decide which one is to be negative. And these factors have to add up to 2 root 2. So how do we go about this? Since we need only 2's, root 2 and 2, let us break these factors into 3 will remain the same, 2 as root 2 multiplied by root 2. Now we have to manipulate these three factors in such a way that they add up to minus 2 root 2. So how do we go about it? Let's see. Suppose we take 3 root 2 minus root 2. Yeah, we get 2 square root of 2. But what we need is a negative 2 root 2. So why don't we just change the signs here? We put the negative sign for 3 root 2 and the positive sign for root 2. Now we get a minus 2 root 2. So these are the numbers. These are the numbers required for splitting our middle term. So let's go about doing this. That the first term is to be written as it is. By splitting the middle term, we rewrite it as minus 3 root 2x plus root 2x. So that the product of it is equal to minus 6 and you adds up to minus 2 root 2. And the last term also remains the same. Minus 2 root 3 is equal to 0. Now for the grouping and factoring. Since the major part of the work is done, let's do the grouping and factoring. So this is our first group and this is our second group. In the first group, we see that we have a root 3 with the x squared term and we have a 3 with this x term. Let us split this 3 into root 3 and root 3. So you can have root 3 as common and an x also can be factored out. So what is within the brackets is x minus 1 root 3 is left into 1 root 2 is also already there. That's it. X minus root 3 into 2. And what about the second group? You have a root 2 here and a root 2 here also because it can be split as root 2 into root 2. So let's take out the common as root 2 plus root 2 and what is within the brackets is the same, x minus root of 2 into 3, which is equal to 0. Now what is root 3 into 2? It is root 6. So we can rewrite this as root 3x x minus root 6 plus root 2 into x minus root 6 is equal to 0. Once again, x minus root 6 is common to both. So x minus root 6 multiplied by root 3x plus root 2 is equal to 0. Now we have factored the quadratic equation. Though it appeared to be difficult, only a little thinking and a splitting to suit our conditions, we have done it. Now we have the roots of this equation. It's x minus root 6 is equal to 0 or it's at the roots are at root 3x plus root 2 is equal to 0. So we get either x is equal to root 6 and also root 3x is equal to minus root 2. So x is equal to minus root 2 by root 3. So these are the two roots of this quadratic equation. Now this equation can alternatively be done by multiplying. Multiplying every term by root 3, both sides, not in fact multiplying both sides by root 3. 0 by 0 multiplied by root 3 is 0, but let us do the multiplication of left hand side. We can, in this way you can avoid the square roots of the x squared term and the square root in the constant term. But what would happen to our middle term? This becomes root 3 into root 3 is 3x squared minus 2 root 2 into root 3 would give you 2 root 2 into root 3 is root 6x minus 2 root 3 into root 3 will give you minus 6 is equal to 0. This also is slightly less difficult, but you can still do it, whereas this is more challenging and you have done it. I hope you understand. Thank you.